analyst David Bank of RBC Capital Markets is on the phone with a reaction to all the developments at Disney. David, let's start with this Miramax story. So what Bloomberg has learned is that construction executive Ronald Tutor and private equity firm Colony Capital have made a deposit on their proposed purchase. That's a little wordy, but we know they're interested in getting a deal done. What do you know about how this is all unfolding?
Well, I mean, I think there was some controversy as to whether or not the deal was going to close. The management of Disney was clearly putting some very public pressure on the investors to close the deal. There was a little bit of nail biting as to whether or not the Tudor Colony guys were going to come up with the money by the deadline. But I think at the end of the day, had this deal fallen apart, I certainly don't think it would have been a massive needle mover for Disney. You maybe had Ron Burkle and the Weinsteins in the background, and there's a little bit of it's kind of a little bit of Hollywood action going on here. But I don't think it would have been it wouldn't have been devastating to Disney either way. But it's kind of nice to to kind of put this behind them and just move past the Miramax sale.
Meanwhile, that's the plan on the selling front. On the buying front, we know that they just announced this deal to buy Playdom, a social gaming business. It trails Zynga, which is the big leader, on Facebook and those kinds of sites. But still, it's a hot growth area, and Disney wants to get into it. Why?
Yeah, well, again, I think you said it right there. I mean, for all these companies, you're talking about, in terms of big cap media, a lot of them fantastic brands, great businesses, but basically sort of mature. And, in order to keep multiples expanding and earnings growing, you've got to be involved in sort of, growing businesses. And casual gaming is certainly one of the hottest. You saw them with a much smaller acquisition of Tapulous a couple of weeks ago. One of the leading kind of gaming platforms from the iPhone. I think they've made a tremendous amount of investments in their game studio generally over the past couple of years. Certainly in the billions. So I think with this one, they basically decided, hey, look, how are we going to get there? It's a buy or build situation. And they went out and just decided to buy one of the bigger players out there. So, let's see how they wrap this into the Disney brand.
All right. David Bank of RBC Capital Markets joining us on the phone. David, thanks for your time.